everyone, and welcome to today's edition of HCAM Sports Talk. I'm HCAM News Director Tom Nappy here, and on today's show in just a bit, we'll have Jared Keene and Andy Barron joining us to make our weekly NFL picks and to talk about some of the other local sports happenings. But first, here is a look at the latest Hopkinton Hillers fall sports highlights. On Tuesday, October 19th, Hiller boys soccer celebrated senior night before taking on Norwood. The Hillers got the scoring rolling in the first half.
Bassington approaching, takes the shot, leaves it out in front, and Schnorr trips up, but he's able to put it in. Owen Schnorr totally lost his footing, and the ball ended up going off his chest into the net. Schnorr with the goal, Bassington with the assist. It's there. Finds Ito. Ito looking for Schnorr. Schnorr with a nice move. Leaves it out in front, shot, and it's a goal! That was Schnorr to Pierce Farrell to make it 2-0 Hillers. Schnorr gives it a boot off the keeper. Michaud puts it in! Off the deflection! The junior Dylan Michaud pokes it in. And that'll be Owen Schnorr with the assist. The score comes at 5:41. Left to go in the first half.
The Hillers take the win by a final of 5-0. Hillers improved to 11 wins and 3 losses and a tie with the victory. On Wednesday, October 20th, Hiller girls volleyball took on Holliston for their annual Side Out Foundation game to raise money in the fight against breast cancer. Steve Sweetapple and Matt Clancy on the call.
Good serve. Catherine, KP, outside, Annabelle, good swing. And that's it. Hopkinton takes the first set, 25-15. It was a little raggedy there.
Yeah.
At the beginning, Matt.
Great composure by the Hillers. You know, they were down by, I think it was 5 or 6 at one point in the first set, and you know, just really did not panic and came back and won the set pretty handily.
The Hillers capture the sweep and raised over $8,000 for the Side Out Foundation. Congratulations, Hopkinton, on a job well done. Also on Wednesday, October 20th, Hiller field hockey celebrated senior night before taking on Holliston.
Josie Ziegler is the first senior. She's a back and a captain of this team. Coming out, we have Avery Hutchinson. Avery Hutchinson, a back. Emma Torgerson now, one of the captains.
After the senior night festivities, Holliston netted 3 goals in the first half and 3 more in the second half to take the game 6-0. Holliston improves to 11-1-2. Hillers fall to 0-12-1. Field hockey was back in action the following day, Thursday, October 21st, where they took on Bellingham, and the Hillers netted a pair of goals towards the end of the first quarter.
Sends it out in front. Looking for the shot. And there it is! Camille Perlov nets a goal. Souza trying to work her way in, out in front. Perlov takes a shot and it's put in! It was Perlov on the initial shot. I believe Maddie Hauser might have tapped it in.
Hillers net another goal in the third quarter.
Perlov trying to sneak through. Sends it over. Locke with a shot. It's in. 3-0 Hillers.
And 2 more goals in the fourth quarter.
And that is popped in. It was Perlov up to Souza, and Souza pops it in. Perlov, top of the circle, shot, out in front, and it's put in! That was Matty Hauser putting that one in.
Hopkinton earned their first win of the season 5-0 over Bellingham and improved to 113-1 overall. On Friday, October 22nd, Hiller Boys Soccer hosted undefeated 12-0-1 Holliston. It was a scoreless game heading into the second half, but the Hillers struck early in the second frame.
Westwood football games the last few years have been great back and forth games. There's a shot and a goal! And the Hillers are up 1-0. And that was Golombiewski who punched it in.
Sean Golombiewski delivered a goal 45 seconds in, and that would be followed up a few minutes later with another one.
Hankley, nice feed to Schnorr. Schnorr takes a shot, it's in! What a goal! Owen Schnorr! Assist Carlos Hankley!
Owen Schnorr strikes at 26:18 left. Hillers took the game 2-0 and handed Holliston their first loss of the season. The only two blemishes on Holliston's record are a tie and a loss, both from the Hillers. Hopkinton improved to 12-3-1. Holliston falls to 12-1-1. At night on Friday, October 22nd, Hiller football hosted Westwood. Westwood would strike on the opening drive.
And this time, under center, they have Andy Weedman, and he's going to take it to the near side, find some room, to the end zone he goes, and it's a Westwood touchdown. A 6-yard touchdown run by the sophomore, Andy Weedman.
The Hillers responded on the following drive.
And he'll get the call. Over to the near side he goes, finds a little room, past the 40, and he's brought down around the 45. A good run to start things off by Joe Carazza. Seamus Murphy, the lone receiver to his left, takes the snap, looking to pass. Under pressure, rolls to his left, and he's going to take it himself. The 30, the 25, and he's brought out of bounds at around the 20. Two receivers to his right. Hands it off to Carazza, cutting towards the far side. The 5 in, into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Hillers! A 9-yard touchdown run by Joe Carazza. And just like that, the Hillers respond.
The extra point put the Hillers up 7-6 with just over a minute left in the opening quarter. In the second quarter, Westwood strung together a quick touchdown drive.
Space, 30, 25, up the sideline he goes, cutting across at the 10 towards the goal line. And it looks like he's going to be stopped just short of the end zone at the 1-yard line. And that's going to be a 28-yard run. He'll hand it off. Maroon up the middle and into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Westwood. Westwood was short a player. The snap, the kick, end over end, and it is no good. So it'll stay a 12-7 game.
Westwood driving again towards the end of the half until this happens.
In the backfield, it's Maroon. He gets the call. Up the middle he goes. And this is going to be close. Did he get in? And the ball came out, and the Hillers recovered. I believe it was Paul Litcher who recovered it.
Paul Litcher keeps the score, 12-7 heading into the halftime break. The Hillers open the second half with a bang.
Litcher out of the gun once again. Carazza the up back. Aiden Kelly to his right. Takes the snap, throws up the right side seam, hauled in by Wyatt Stevens, and Stevens has a big gain. Moving in tight. Takes the snap, it's a keeper up the middle, and whiffies into the end zone, Robert Litcher. Touchdown, Hillers. Out of the eye. Fakes the pitch, rolls to his left, and connects with Matt Pantera.
A nice touchdown drive lasting about 5 minutes, and a 2-point conversion makes it a 15-12 Hillers lead. Fourth quarter, Westwood finding some offense and on a drive until this happens.
Left takes the snap, throws to his left. It's caught along the left side hash marks by Pizzuto. Now he fumbles it, but he recovers as he lands on it at around the 25. A field goal would tie it, but Westwood hasn't had much luck in the kicking game tonight. Donegan takes the snap and he throws an interception! Picked off! And it's going to be ran up the far side. And that was Paul Litcher coming up with what is likely the game-winning interception.
Paul Litcher with an interception comes up big on the defensive side of the ball once again, and the Hillers hang on for the 15-12 victory and improve to 3 wins and 4 losses on the season. Hopkinton heads to Holliston next Friday night. Paul Litcher, your player of the game, with the key fumble recovery at the end of the first half and game-clinching interception. Also on Friday night, Hiller girls volleyball captured a road sweep over Ashland. The win improved the team to 18-0 and gave head coach Margie Grabmeyer her 300th career win. Congratulations, Coach Grabmeyer, on the tremendous accomplishment. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new edition of HCAM Sports Talk. I'm your host, Tom Nappy, and we have Jared Keene with us today from the Metro West Daily News. Jared, how are you?
Good, Tom. How you doing?
Good. Getting ready for postseason coverage. And
exciting time of the year. We got all sorts of stuff going on. We got high school football. We got Patriots. We got Bruins and Celtics playing now. We got all sorts of stuff. It's a good time of the year.
Absolutely. It should be a whole lot of fun. As far as Hopkinton, they have 3 teams in the postseason, boys and girls soccer. We're waiting to hear those brackets still, and girls volleyball. So without further ado, here is the girls volleyball bracket for everybody to see. Hopkinton is the number 3 seed. How an undefeated team is the number 3 seed, and you got King Philip at number 2 with 1 loss. I don't know, but that's how they ranked them. Westboro, the 1 seed, Hopkinton back in the D2 bracket. They have played in the D1 bracket the last couple of years, and I believe it was Coach Grabmeyer who asked for that promotion at D1. But they are back in D2 with the new state format. It's a state format now, so no more sectionals in any of the postseasons. In girls volleyball and soccer, you get the top 16 teams making it, plus all the teams above 500. And then in the football brackets, it is just the top 16 teams in each division. There is 8 divisions. Jared, what are you thinking of the new playoff system so far?
I think I like it. I'm kind of, after seeing some of the football matchups, it's kind of interesting seeing some of the volleyball matchups. we'll see kind of how it plays out. Again, going in, I kind of had some mixed feelings about it. I think I like it, but again, I think we'll kind of have to see how it plays out. And I did actually see on Twitter yesterday that there's an interesting volleyball matchup that I think is kind of sort of personifies a little bit of the statewide matchup. I think Monument Mountain, a school from out west, has to go play Nantucket in volleyball in the first round.
Wow.
That's going from Western Mass to Nantucket. That's going to be like 8 hours of round trip travel.
I wonder if
for a first round volleyball matchup.
That's insane.
That is ridiculous.
This should be in the middle somewhere. They should have a meet in the middle rule for if you're coming across the state. That is unfortunate for them.
I did see that yesterday. I think Matt Feld posted something about that or whatever. But yeah, that's certainly interesting. Again, we'll see kind of how it plays out. I like I do like kind of some of the power rankings thing. I like how teams above 500 can't get it, or teams below 500 can't get in football. But obviously it also makes for some matchups that you don't normally see and could continue to do so. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it kind of plays out. But, I think for the most part, I like it. I'm on board.
Absolutely. I think it's a good format, especially for football. I like it. Just get everyone from the state in there, and you don't have those. A lot of times in the postseason before with the sectionals, you'd have let's say in hockey, for example, this is the perfect example. You'd have about 30 teams in the South and about 6 teams in the Central.
Right.
That clearly isn't fair.
No.
And, Hopkinton, they lost in the state championship a couple of years ago to Wachusett, who was out of the Central. And I looked at the games Hopkinton had to play in the playoffs. It was 6 or 7, mostly at the Cape. And then I looked at what Wachusett had to play, and it was about 2. Yeah. So they didn't have to play as much. Their legs were well rested.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's very fair. So I'm glad they have done away with the sectionals. I think that system just was very unfair, and I think this system will be a lot more evenly spread.
I agree. I do agree with that, definitely.
And by the way, for you Hopkinton football fans out there, they did not make the postseason, but they will be hosting a game, a non-playoff game this week. This Friday night, they take on Newton North. 7 p.m. kickoff. We'll have the game for you on HCAM. So Hopkinton was young this year. We hope to see him in the
young
playoffs.
First-year coach. Yeah, definitely can't expect too much. Hopefully they'll kind of continue to grow and maybe get some more experience or whatever with some more experienced players and everything as kind of the years go on, especially as Coach Sanborn gets more acclimated and stuff and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did a really good job with the team because I saw the way throughout the season they developed. And the first game was kind of a mess. But then in the second game, they go on the road to Nauset and get a win, which is a great win. And then third game, not so good. But then after that, when you got into the TVL rivals, they played really well. And they ended up beating Medfield and Westwood, got 2 good wins there. And didn't have so much luck in Holliston, but they came a long way. They got the offense more down. The defense was better and better every game, it seems. So, and they're young, so I'm looking forward to a good team next year because most of them are going to be.
Holliston was also pretty young this year, and it's interesting not seeing Holliston in the playoffs. Usually you're used to seeing Holliston be one of the top teams in the playoffs. At least in their division. But again, I know they had a young team year and kind of rebuilding a little bit. So Medfield had a rough year. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, they had a rough year.
Medfield and Westwood both had some rough seasons, and certainly the TVL large was not quite as competitive as as the TVL small in terms of records and everything. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure in the next couple of years we'll see some of those teams in the TVL large kind of, regroup a little bit and kind of get going again and, and bounce back. So,
yeah, I think we will. I think it's just a down year for a lot of teams, young year for a lot of teams.
Yep. And that happens. It's part of it. It's all part of it, as you know, as I know, as everybody knows. So,
By the way, there is a good TVL playoff football match. Medway and Bellingham are going to be meeting up in the Division 6 bracket. So you got two TVL teams. So a nice short trip for Bellingham over to Medway. That'll be a good game.
Yep. I think there's a chance I could be there. So, if I am there, I'll be looking forward to that. And, certainly Medway's got Matt Childs, who's been immense this year from the running back position. He's just been a load. So, but obviously Bellingham is one of the top QBs in the TVL small, and Gavin Elder got some talent and certainly well coached. So, I believe Dan Haddad was reigning TVL Coach of the Year after the season that Bellingham had in fall too. So, looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Those two programs have come a long way. They had some down years, but now both of them are right in there, Medway and Bellingham.
Yeah, good to see them in the playoffs, and obviously matched up against each other in the first round. So
yeah, yep. I think it's always cool when you get league opponents in the playoffs, especially with the new statewide format. It's going to be a lot less common now, but when you get one, it's good stuff.
For our Milford folks, Milford is playing Hingham, as I'm sure our Milford folks know. It should be a winnable game for Milford, but anything can happen in the playoffs. So I'm probably just guessing that Milford is probably happy to have gotten the number 2 seed. Where they don't have. So we'll see how that goes, and yeah.
I mean, why was it Catholic Memorials in D2? I have no idea, but okay.
Yeah. I mean, Catholic Memorial is supposed to be D4 just based on enrollment, but they get bumped up and they get bumped up again, on competition and all that. So
they can recruit. They should be D1. Any school that can recruit should be D1.
Well, they should be out of the MIA. They should be out of the MIA with all the other Catholic conference schools. Or
at least have their own playoff system.
Right.
But
I mean, that's a whole separate.
That's a whole separate discussion for another day.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get the soccer brackets out to you, Hopkinton folks, when they come out. We'll certainly keep you informed of the games coming up. And we are excited for the playoff season. Speaking of playoff season, the World Series is going on, and the Atlanta Braves chopping on to Game 6, 1 win away from claiming the World Series. And that would mean my prediction. What did I say? I said Atlanta in 7. Okay. And then, Jared, you said Houston in 7, and you said Houston in 6. So it definitely won't be Houston in 6. I can tell you that.
Nope.
So he's out.
Yep.
But it's been a good series. The Braves, they are playing well. Houston took the win in the last game, but I give Braves the edge here. I mean, you just got to take 1 out of 2. Easier said than done, but obviously if Houston wins Game 6, anything's possible in Game 7. But I'm liking what I'm seeing out of those Atlanta Braves.
It's hard not to kind of be impressed with the Braves. And again, it's crazy that the Braves are now 1 win away from winning the World Series without their best player. Ronald Acuna has been out for half the season. With him in the lineup, this might have been like a sweep or something. He's, again, one of the top players in the league. So, for them to now be 1 win away from winning the World Series without their best player, I guess it just speaks volumes to, what they've done, in all facets to the game. They've gotten the pitching at the times that they needed it. They've hit the ball well. Eddie Rosario has been immense at the plate, and you got to give them a lot of credit. And obviously they've gotten hot at the right time.
They certainly have. And Houston, well, they got red hot in the ALCS coming out of that, but the Braves took the 2 out of the first 3, which certainly gave them the edge for the time being. But I think anything's possible in this series, to be honest with you. Both of these teams have a lot of talent, a lot of good bats, a lot of good pitching. So it should be a fun Game 6.
Yeah. If Houston wins Game 6, then look out, because then Houston has all the momentum. But,
right.
We'll see. We'll see.
Absolutely. So we will have our football picks as usual, and we have Kevin's. They are in, but Before that, any Bruins thoughts, Jared?
They've kind of been up and down a little bit. It's interesting. They've had a couple of really good wins. They've had a couple of really bad losses. I know they beat the Panthers the other night in a shootout, which is a good win. I mean, the Panthers were playing well, and especially if you're getting rolled by the Panthers a few nights previous. And we have a good win over the Sharks, a game I was at, who were coming in playing well, but we also had some bad losses to teams like the Flyers and stuff. So again, it's still early. I think I still believe in this team. I've liked a lot of what I've seen, but again, there's also been some things that I haven't really liked. I'm no Bruins expert by any means, but the Celtics, on the other hand, are not playing well.
No.
I know Marcus Smart called out Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum for not passing the ball enough after last night's loss to the Bulls, in which Celtics were up by 19 and then lost by 14. So
already drama in Celtics town.
Yep. Again, still plenty of season left, but not looking good for the Celtics right now. They've not been playing some good basketball.
No, I think it could potentially be a very long season for them.
It could.
But we are still early. I mean, they could turn things around, but a lot of drama. And we'll get more into the Celtics as the winter progresses. And we'll get more into the Bruins as the winter progresses. But
let's talk about the Patriots, though. We got to talk about the Patriots.
Exactly.
What a win, man.
Right out of my mouth.
Go for it. Give me your thoughts. I want some of your thoughts. What did you think?
I was very impressed. I thought it was a great win to go down to LA, take down a good, speedy Chargers team. I thought it was a great team win. I thought the defense played well. It was great to see the defense play well against a quick Chargers team. I thought the offense was okay. Mac Jones had a few mistakes. I thought Harris was excellent. He was tremendous, unstoppable, and he didn't fumble, so that was good to see. But the running game, I think, helped propel that offense on a day where Mac Jones was kind of, he was a little iffy, but not too bad. He threw to a number of different targets, and I believe he had, 2 touchdown passes? Or 1?
I think so, yeah.
But he had a pretty good day. Overall, a little shaky, not the Mac Jones we saw against the Jets, but then again, that was the Jets. But you know what? The Jets just beat Cincinnati, so maybe the Jets are a good one. But in any case, I thought it was a very good win for the Patriots. It was a must-have game because instead of standing at 3-5, looking up at everybody, you're 4-4. You're right on the Bills' heels. You are right in the wild card mix. And you got a few winnable games coming up where you could really propel your season. You got Carolina this week. I mean, you got to go down there, so that's always tough, but it's winnable for sure. And then you have Atlanta. That should be a winnable game, and Cleveland as well. So winnable games coming up for the Pats, and that was a great win against the Chargers. And in my eyes, that was the first good win of the season. By good win, I mean they beat a good team.
Yep.
What about you, Jared? What did you think?
Yeah, I agree. Actually, after looking at kind of some of the stats here, Mac actually had no TD passes, was 18 of 35 for 218 yards, no TDs, no picks. Which again is average. You want to see him probably get the ball in the end zone, but again, at least he didn't throw any picks, which is nice.
Actually, it was the run game that had all the touchdowns, I believe.
Well, Damian Harris, 23 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. Again, not phenomenal, but certainly solid. Certainly solid. And the thing about Mac is he completed a pass to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different guys. And he throws a really good ball. Throws a nice, accurate ball, which is nice. It was funny though. I was talking to my dad, and we're talking about how sometimes Mac either throws a really good, accurate pass or throws a really poor pass.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of in between. But again, he's certainly managing the offense, and again, this is a really good win, like you said. It's hard not to be impressed with this win going into LA and being a good football team, which was kind of obviously our best win to date, as you said. Again, good to see the defense kind of come up, and Adrian Phillips get a big pick 6.
Oh, that was nice.
Which kind of proved to be the difference in the game, and again, just got to try to ride this, and and get, and keep it going. Yeah, but certainly hard not to be impressed with that win. Definitely.
Absolutely. The one spot where I had heart palpitations is when Judon ran into the punter. And I thought the Chargers were going to keep the ball, but there was offsetting penalties. Obviously, he wasn't trying to nail the punter, but he was going in for the block and ended up barreling right into him. So they got to watch out for that. But it was good to see a good all-around performance on the road in a tough place to play. And the stadium that's brand new and has one of the biggest monitors I've ever seen.
Yep. And it was good to see the Pats be able to close out a win like this instead of, kind of giving it away or something or letting it slip away from them, to be able to close out a good team in their own stadium, again, on the road. So, good to see them get this win. And again, hopefully can kind of ride a little bit of this momentum now. Certainly they got to be feeling good about themselves after beating a team like this. So.
Absolutely. I think this is the type of win that'll give you confidence going forward against anybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now you go play a Carolina team who's, kind of reeling a little bit. Another game that I think is certainly winnable. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, great win by the Pats. Let's hope they can keep up the momentum. But I'll tell you what, I think looking at that win, this team, they're probably for real. They're probably going to be in the fight. They're going to be in probably the wild card hunt. I still think the Bills are going to probably win the division, but they'll be in there for sure, especially if they keep pulling off wins like that. But of course, we have a long way to go. So let's hope for the best here.
Definitely.
But without further ado, let's get into our weekly football picks. And our records from last week were not impressive for anyone. Jared was the grand champion. Actually, no, there was 3 grand champions. Jared, Mike, and Steve all went 8-7. Myself, Andy, and Kevin all went 7-8.
Ugh.
So the total record.
Disaster.
Yeah, that was a weird week. A lot of upsets. And my Jacksonville over Seattle upset did not pan out at all.
No.
That was bad upset special. I hope no one took that seriously and bet on it.
Hey, I took the Lions, so
that's true.
It doesn't get worse than that.
That is true. The Lions, they were 0-7 going into it, but they've been competitive in every game.
Yeah.
Then they meet up with Philly.
The way the Eagles had played, the Eagles could have been vulnerable in a game like that against the Lions, where the Lions came out and took it to them, but it was the complete opposite. The Eagles just came out and hammered them. Them.
Yep.
So
they did absolutely nothing in that game.
I blame Andy.
Yes. Yep. You could have been tied with me,
Yep.
But here are the records as of today. I am 82-40, just a game in first place as Jared is creeping up on me. He's 81-41. And then in third place, we have Steve at 76-46. Then we have Mike at 75-47. Then we have Andy, who's 13 games back at 69-53. And then Kevin, who's 60-62. 22
Kevin's got to get above 500. I got to get Kevin. We got to get Kevin above 500.
I'll tell you what, he has some upset specials this week.
Oh boy. All
right, we start off Thursday night football. The New York Football Jets against the Indianapolis Colts. The Jets pulled off another weird win last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, and it cost many people in their survivor pools and their betting slips, which of course not betting for money or anything, but the Jets upsetting the Bengals after getting massacred by the Pats a couple of years ago. This Jets team is weird, but I'll tell you what, I like that backup quarterback they got. He might steal a starting job.
I know. I mean, what happens when Zach Wilson comes back? Do you keep Mike White in, or do you put Zach Wilson back in? I mean, it sounds like Zach Wilson would be the starter if once he comes back, but certainly Mike White. I mean, it's he was a huge story of the weekend, man. I mean, for him to come in and lead this Jets team to victory against a really good Bengals team. I mean, how do it's hard to explain something like that, man. I mean, He played well. He obviously kind of got the offense going a little bit. The offense kind of fed off him, and they're able to grab a really nice win. And it's weird. You look at the Jets. I mean, they've beaten the Bengals and they've beaten the Titans. Two really good teams.
Right, and they've lost pretty much every other subpar team you could possibly lose to.
Yep. Weird season, man. Weird season.
I'll tell you if what's his name to back up?
Mike White.
If Mike White comes in and beats the Colts on the road Thursday night, I think he should be your starter based on
he could be. He could
be 2-0 at that point.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to beat the Colts. I think the Colts are going to win, but I do think this could be a close game. I think it probably will. What do you think, Jared?
I think the Colts are going to win. Again, I think the Jets. I don't think they can keep this up. I mean, if they can keep this up, more power to them, I guess. But until they prove that they can win multiple games in a row against good teams, I'm not saying the Colts are an amazing team. Certainly, probably not as good as the Bengals, but the Colts are certainly a solid team. They played the Tennessee tough this past week.
They did, yeah. I think the Colts are going to be in the wild card hunt.
They could be. Again, I'm going to Colts here. The Jets could keep it close, but again, until the Jets prove that they can beat good teams in multiple, in consecutive weeks and stuff, I can't take them. I can't take them.
Right. If they beat the Colts this week, we might be talking about the Jets in the wild card race as well.
Let me guess. Kevin took the Jets.
No, he took the Colts.
Okay. Maybe Andy took the Jets.
We don't have Andy's picks yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
We do have a bit of a breaking news story. Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs was involved in a serious car accident this morning in Las Vegas, and there were injuries. That is courtesy of TMZ. We hope that Henry Ruggs is okay. And thank you, Andy, for sending that along.
Wow.
Ruggs is a good receiver. I hope he's okay. Hope everyone involved in the accident's okay.
Hopefully. That's rough, man. Again, Henry Ruggs is a good player, and he's certainly been a big part of their offense so far. So that's unfortunate.
Yep, we're certainly hoping for the best to all involved. All right, moving down to the Sunday games, the 1:00 games. We have Atlanta, who they did get a win last week. They beat Carolina. So Atlanta taking on New Orleans, who's fresh off a win against Tom Brady and the Bucs. And a few of us had that right. Steve had New Orleans, and actually that was it. Steve's the only one that got that one. We all had Tampa Brady. But this New Orleans team, I think they're starting to show that they are good. This is a good football team. They got a good defense. And their backup had to come in. Oh, that Jameis Winston injury was gruesome.
Rough.
Oh, it totally tore his ACL.
Yeah, that was rough. I was watching that when that happened. That was rough. That was rough.
Very rough. I always hate to see injuries like that. Of course, it means he'll be out for the rest of the season, but it hurts. And I know from personal experience. But how about Trevor Siemian coming into the game and getting the job done against Tampa Bay? He looked good. And you know what? He might end up being the backup even when
Taysom Hill comes back.
Hill gets back.
Yep.
So he looked pretty good. I'm going to go New Orleans in this one. I think they'll take down Atlanta. It'll probably be a close game, though, because it is a division game, and the South always seems to have close division games. But give me the Saints on this one. Kevin has the Saints. Jared, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints. Trevor Siemian obviously came in and proved, showed that he can play a little bit. Again, you don't know if he can keep this up. I think the difference here, though, is Alvin Kamara. I know I've talked about him before, obviously. I mean, but when you have a guy like that on your team, he can be a difference maker. And I don't think the Falcons quite have a difference maker on their team, especially with the news that Calvin Ridley, their star receiver, is taking some time away from football, which was kind of some news the other day that I thought was pretty big.
Yeah.
He's a stud receiver, and now Matt Ryan's not going to be able to go to him for the rest of the season. Kyle Pitts is really good. We've talked about Kyle Pitts before, and but you can't rely just on Kyle Pitts. But when you got a guy like Alvin Kamara at running back, again, he can be a difference maker in a game. I'm going Saints here. But again, Atlanta could keep it close.
Yep, they certainly could. And these two teams have played some close games before. Could be a letdown game for New Orleans, though. Look out. They did just beat Tampa Bay. But
I just don't know what Atlanta has on offense. Again, Matt Ryan has been kind of inconsistent this year, and they don't have a lot of weapons right now, again, especially with Calvin Ridley, taking some time away from football. So
yeah, they got Gage. They need to get him more involved. He was involved heavily last year, but not so much this year.
Yeah.
All right, Denver at Dallas. Speaking of backup quarterbacks, Dallas is
Cooper Rush.
Yes. He hasn't thrown a pass since 2017 during a regular season game. And he came in, started, and took down
Minnesota.
A good Minnesota team on Sunday Night Football. That was impressive.
Yep.
I think Dallas is in it to win it this year. They're finally legit. They've had talent for many years. They just haven't been able to put it together at all. There's been a lot of internal messes with that organization, but they are for real this year. And I think they're going to pull it out against Denver. Jared, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going Dallas here. I think Dak Prescott is actually going to be back this week. So again, if Dak Prescott comes back, that only makes the Dallas pick even better. And again, that's nothing against Cooper Rush, who obviously came in and got an impressive win. But, when you have Dak Prescott as your starting quarterback, he certainly gives you probably the best chance to win. So,
definitely.
Got to go with Dallas here. Definitely.
I'll tell you what, even if Cooper Rush starts, I still think Dallas.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm not too high on Denver right now. So,
yeah, Denver, they're a weird team. They're very shaky, very shaky. New England at Carolina. Let's go to it now. I think this is going to be a close game. It's on the road, tough place to play in Carolina, but I think New England will take this one. Who do you got, Jared?
I also agree, actually. I'm going to go with the Patriots here. It seems like it's been forever since I picked the Patriots, but I am going to go with the Patriots here. Carolina's offense has certainly taken a bit of a hit without Christian McCaffrey. And I think, the Patriots are going to be riding high after this Chargers win. Is a letdown game possible? Sure.
Definitely.
But, again, I don't think there's too much you can be impressed with right now with Carolina. I do like the Patriots. What?
Is McCaffrey back this week?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. The Panthers, they are 4-4 on the season. They did get a win last week.
Did they beat Atlanta?
Lost.
I think they. Oh no, they lost. Okay.
Oh no, maybe they did win, and I messed that up. I'll have to go back and look at that. I think they might have won. I think they beat Atlanta.
I think they did. Yeah.
My mistake. All right. But we all had Carolina anyway, so everyone just gets a win. Or actually, we all had Atlanta. That's right. All right. There we go. We all had Atlanta, so we all did lose. Okay. All right. New England across the board.
Did Kevin take New England?
Yes, he did.
Okay. All right.
And we'll get Andy, Mike, and Steve's picks later. Minnesota at Baltimore. Minnesota, they are very hit or miss. You just don't know what you're going to get out of them. And I think Baltimore is hungry for a few wins here after having a rough game before the bye week. And I think Baltimore is going to take this one over Minnesota. Jared, who do you got?
Baltimore coming off a bye, definitely. Again, Minnesota's been too inconsistent. Minnesota just lost to a Dallas team that started Cooper Rush. And again, that's nothing against Cooper Rush, but you know, if you're a decent Minnesota team, you go in and you win that game. Definitely taking Baltimore here coming off the bye.
All right. Kevin has Baltimore as well. Moving on. Cleveland at Cincinnati. Cincinnati, I want to say they're for real. They're going to be right in there. I still think they probably are. But, man, they lost to the Jets. Come on. They are going to be taking on a banged-up Cleveland team. This should be an interesting one. Kevin went with Cincinnati. Jared, who are you going with?
Oh man, I want to try to pick up a game on you here because I think this is one that you could go either way. I'm going to go Cincinnati. I think they'll be fired up after losing to the Jets, and they're going to be ready to go. I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase will get it going, and the Browns are kind of tail spinning a little bit. Drama with Odell Beckham, and Baker Mayfield is kind of playing a little inconsistent, and the Browns are a team I think that thrive off their running game, and Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb have both been injured. I'm not sure if either one is going to be back this week, so I'm going Cincinnati here, and I hope I didn't sway you to go Cincinnati as well.
I was really torn about this one, but I do think you're right. Cleveland's in a bit of a tailspin, and drama with OBJ. Who would have thought? I went Cincinnati on this one. Typically, when I'm not sure, I go with the home team.
Yeah.
But I'll go Cincinnati on this one. Buffalo at Jacksonville. I am never picking Jacksonville again. After
got to be Buffalo across the board.
I think it's going to be Buffalo across the board here, right?
Yep, definitely.
Oh, yeah, Jacksonville. I picked them last week to beat Seattle, upset special. Not only did they lose, it's one thing to lose. They got absolutely crushed and did literally nothing.
Smoked.
Here is the game of the week. Houston at Miami.
Oh, gosh. Brutal.
1-7 Miami against 1-7 Houston. Who's going to get their second win of the season? I think it's going to be Houston. I think Miami's just kind of a mess. I mean, they're both a mess, but at least Houston kind of had a little comeback against the Rams. I'll go Houston here. Who are you going with?
Who did Kevin take?
Miami.
Oh, gosh. I'll try to pick up a game on here and go Miami.
So you're going to pick up a game in the 1-7 bowl. That's not fair.
Maybe. We'll see, man. We'll see. This one could.
I hope I get a game on you in this one.
You might. You might, man. I mean, I don't know. That's
a horrible game.
What an awful game.
Las Vegas Raiders at the New York Football Giants. I'm going to go Vegas with caution. I think the Giants are actually playing better football. They gave Kansas City a run last night. But this Vegas offense, when they put it together, it could really get going. And so far, they're 2-0 under the new coach after Gruden got ran out of town because of some 10-year-old emails. All right, so I got Vegas. Who do you got, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go Vegas. I don't like that Henry Ruggs news. That's a little rough. Again, he's a big part of their offense. He's got a ton of speed. I'll go Vegas here just because I really don't want to pick the Giants. But again, Vegas, I think, with caution here.
Well, there was a guy who picked the Giants, and his name is Kevin. Kevin has the New York Football Giants. So, I don't know, maybe he has some inside information. But maybe not. All right, moving on to the 4:00 games. Chargers and the Eagles. They're at the Eagles. Philly, they are either really good or just really awful. I'm going to go Chargers here. I think they'll be looking to get back in the win column after losing to the Pats. So give me the Chargers. Kevin went Philly. Who are you going with, Jared?
Kevin went Philly. Interesting. All right, I'm going to go with the Chargers here. Again, I've been pretty high on the Chargers this year. It's obviously I think they'll probably want to get back in the W column after losing to the Patriots, and as good as the Eagles played, or as well as the Eagles played last week, we do have to remember that was against the Lions. I've gotten bit a bunch, I think, so far this year by picking the Eagles, so I'm going to take the Chargers.
Yeah, and Philly, if I don't pick them, they typically win. If I do pick them, they typically
They just get smoked. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of my thought process.
Yeah, Philly and Seattle have given me a lot of issues. Green Bay at Kansas City. I think Green Bay is doing good on all fronts right now. They are looking really sharp out there. They got a great win over Arizona last Thursday night against a very good Arizona team. And I just don't. Kansas City, on the other hand, they have struggled. They have struggled defensively. The Giants almost beat them last night.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs, they haven't found their own yet. And maybe the league is now on to Pat Mahomes, and he won't be as effective as he was in past years. I'm going to go Green Bay in this one. Who are you going with, Jared?
Yeah, Green Bay. I've had some good success picking Green Bay. The Chiefs did improve their defense today by trading for Melvin Ingram from the Steelers. That'll help out their defense a little bit, but I think it's hard not to pick, Green Bay here. If Devontae Adams is back and healthy, you got to, and I think they've had a few of their other receivers come off the COVID list recently and stuff. So I think you got to go Green Bay here.
Yeah, and that's another good point too. They beat Arizona with pretty much no receivers.
Yep.
That was impressive. Kevin also went Green Bay. All right, West Coast matchup. Arizona at San Francisco. Kevin went 49ers.
Against Arizona?
Yeah, against Arizona. It is Kevin. Who are you going with, Jared?
Yeah, I mean Arizona. Again, I think this is probably the biggest repeat, whatever. But I've been high on Arizona all season since day one. Since week one, I've been high on Arizona. So I'm going Arizona here. 49ers are starting to play better. I think Kittle is back this week, so that'll help the 49ers. Garoppolo looked pretty good this past week, but I have a hard time picking against the Cardinals. So I'm going Arizona. If the 49ers win, more power to them, but I mean, Arizona's just too good to pick against.
I have to agree. I'm going Arizona as well. San Francisco did have a good game last week. They beat up the Bears, and Garoppolo looked good. I think it was probably his best game all season, but I think Arizona, after that tough loss last Thursday against Green Bay, they are going to be ready to go.
Yep.
I think they'll take this game. All right, Sunday Night Football, an interesting matchup. Tennessee Titans against the Rams. I'm going Rams just because Derrick Henry's out for the season, and I think that'll definitely hurt the Titans in this game. The Rams have a very good defense, and the Titans, they're probably going to have to throw the ball a lot more than they normally would with the absence of Henry. I do think they'll keep this game close, and I think despite the loss of Derrick Henry, which it's a big loss for the Titans, they'll probably still hang around in the wild card picture. I just think there's too much talent defensively on that team, and they got Julio Jones and the other guy, AJ Brown. So they got some good receivers, and McNichols, he's pretty good. So I think Titans will hang around the playoff picture, but I'll take Rams in this game. Kevin has the Rams. Who do you got?
I mean, the Rams just traded for Von Miller, so their defense is even better now.
Right.
And again, Derrick Henry being out, I'm taking the Rams here. And Julio Jones has been injured actually the last couple of weeks for the Titans with that same hamstring that keeps bothering him. So, the guy just can't play a full season. I'm a big fan. Obviously, I've had one of the most epic rants ever, but yeah, I mean, you got to go Rams here. I mean, their defense is elite. And Stafford and Cooper Kupp are playing at an extremely high level, so it's hard not to go Rams here.
All right, Rams across the board it is. Then we have Monday Night Football. Chicago Bears at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Bears are just going to fall apart. I'm going Pittsburgh. Kevin went Pittsburgh. Who are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh. I'm not really impressed with what I'm seeing from the Bears. Justin Fields has shown flashes of his talents, but just the Bears as a team are, are not with it right now. And I mean, Pittsburgh isn't having a phenomenal season by any means either. But in this one, I'm going to go Steelers.
All right, Steelers across the board, and there it is, the Week 9 picks. Some interesting games this week, as there always is. But it should be a fun week of football for sure.
So what kind of viewership that Texans-Dolphins games gets? I bet the TV ratings for that are going to be it's probably some of the worst you'll ever see.
That should be Thursday Night Football. I mean, if you're picking the worst game maybe of all season, it's that one.
Yep.
All right. Well, any quick closing final thoughts, Jared?
Just looking forward to, getting some high school football playoffs going. Obviously I think all eyes are going to be on D2. D2 is loaded. And you got to feel for some of the teams in D2 that have had really, really good seasons, that are extremely good teams, but we'll probably have to eventually go up against Catholic Memorial and lose. But yeah, I mean, just excited for some of these matchups and, kind of see what happens. And, certainly excited for maybe some upsets. You're always going to get a few upsets, especially in maybe some of the early rounds. And, just kind of excited to see what happens.
Absolutely. And be on the lookout, folks, for all the Hiller playoff information on our website, hcam.tv. For Jared King.
Sorry, I think all points, all signs probably lead to an LS against CM semifinal matchup in D2. And I think you got to feel for LS because I think as good as LS is, CM is just probably on another level. So I think all eyes will be on that game in D2 if it gets there. Again, just excited. Sorry.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Should be some great matchups in the football brackets and all the other brackets, of course. But for Jared Keene, I'm Tom Nappy. We're out of time. This has been HCAM Sports Talk. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.